First guitar I got, I was going up for 12, and it was an Egmont. It was with the F cuts, an acoustic. But the first electric guitar I got was a Rossetti Solid 7, they were called. I loved it because it was bright red. And when you played these things, I mean, your fingers were just bleeding almost. They were so, no, not like these things with that. So you really had to want to play. You know? I used to go to bed at night with big creases in my fingers, you know.
So it was hard time to learn.
Uwe, could you just hand in the phonics, bro?
Okay.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, hang on, yeah. Excuse us. Yeah. Bad habits, but no.
It's 30 years ago when you released Malice in Wonderland, which contains Holiday and other hits. Can you tell us something about that time, when you recorded that?
In Malice, we did that in we recorded
in the Bahamas.
In the Bahamas, Compass Point Studios. We recorded it there. We did all the backing tracks there, you know, and all the music. And then we went to Los Angeles, to Hollywood, to
Cherokee,
to do the vocals and some of the guitar overdubs. So it was done in two places, really, you know.
Yeah.
That was what, 79? 79, I think it was. That's a long time ago. As you said, 30 years ago.
It was an interesting album because it was with quite a big band at that time. It was Manny was still in the band. Zal was in the band as well, and we had Jeffrey Baxter, Skunk Baxter produced it, and he was a great musician. So
well, he played with the Doobie Brothers, and he played with, you know, Steely Dan before that. So it was the first time actually that we. It was the first time we used, and the only time we used an American producer. You know,
no, there were a couple of them.
Did we? Before that?
Mr. Hanson, what's his name? We did it in Detroit.
Oh aye, no, oh aye, right enough, aye, no. Well, but he was the first time, you know. Right, so it was good. It was a good album to make. It was we had a lot of problems in the studio in the Bahamas because that's why we went to Los Angeles to do the overdubs. Because when we were in, the equipment kept breaking down, the studio equipment kept, you know, breaking down. We had to sit around for 2 days while they sent someone over from Florida to come and repair the machines, you know. So we thought, well, it's going to take us a year to make this album if we stay here, you know.
We've got to get out of here.
So we did have to move, you know. It was a lot of fun.
And we are born in 1989, except of him, he's older. So we are also interested in the album Snakes and Ladders and the time then.
Snakes and Ladders was sort of our first attempt at a techno album. We were kind of more or less pushed into making that album, to be quite honest.
It wasn't one of my favourites, I've got to say.
The record company at the time, Phonogram, decided that this genius producer, and he would produce it, and we would use drum pads and programs and things like that, you know? And I was never happy with that, you know, and Pete wasn't either. And so the album was done, but it was kind of half-heartedly done. We prefer to play pretty much live, you know, in a studio. I mean, you still overdub things, obviously, you know, everybody does that, you know, but we like to get the main track, you know, the main track down with everybody and looking at each other, you know, and playing, you know, and you get it's a different kind of feel you get, you know. I mean, sure you can do it in layers, you know, and it still sounds good, but it always just feels there's something missing, you know, when you do it, you know. And it was like it was a contract that we had to fulfil to finish the album off, but we were never exactly delighted with that album at all, unfortunately. Because there's some good stuff on it, just didn't.
There's a couple of good tracks on it. What's this one?
It just didn't knit together very well for me, you know. I think they were trying to get us a hit. You know what I mean? Like, this is trendy kind of sounds now.
Yeah, it's, you know, I like it because when I hear it, it's like, these are the 80s,
sure,
that music,
it was very
that feeling.
sounding, yes it was.
Well, it was a different sound for us, you know. I mean, well, that was '89, so you're looking at 18 years since we did our first album, you know, and things change a little bit, and you think, well, we're going to try and do something with maybe, you know, you hear the other music that's going around at the time, see if you can fit your kind of music into to fit the time, you know. Yeah, if you liked it, good. Well, go and buy another copy.
I mean, we worked hard enough at it, but it was just, it never quite made it for me. You know, it's something I didn't really like about it very much.
So,
number 3.
The next one. You have been touring for 40 years. In what way has tour life and the audience changed since the beginning?
Touring's touring, really. You know, it's never changed that much. I mean, what we do now is, and you'll find that most of the bands do now, is everyone's got a tour bus. You know, and rather than be flying everywhere. Because that, believe me, is a nightmare. You know, and if this thing had have happened with this volcano and we'd have been flying, the tour would have been cancelled. You know? So it's much more comfortable when you've got all your beds on the bus. I mean, we don't sleep in the bus a lot, but they're there if you want to. We stay in hotels, we still go there, and you can travel overnight to places and have the day off the next day. That much with the touring has changed from not, as I say, from not flying. But the gigs, the playing, and everything else is pretty much the same. As it always was, you know.
I think personally, there's less pressure on us now because we've been going for 40 years. You know, if you buy a Nazareth ticket, you pretty much know what you're going to get. You know what I mean? So there's no pressure to impress people, you know, like you've got to impress the press and all that kind of thing.
You just, what we're doing now though, these last 10 years, 20 years, this last 20 years is since, well you guys won't even remember it, but when the Berlin Wall came down and the East opened up, Russia and all the Eastern countries, well these people are desperate for rock bands, and especially the rock bands they heard about when they were young, wanted to come there. So now we find ourselves in countries that we never ever thought we'd play. We play more countries now, you know, in Russia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, Latvia, you know, all these places, you know. So you play in, it used to be you come out and you tour Europe, you know, which was mainly Germany, and some gigs in Austria, some gigs in Switzerland, maybe France, Belgium, Holland, and in Britain, and then it was America and Canada mainly, you know. But now it's like, well, when we go away from here, we're into Canada just after we've got Sweden Rocks Festival up in Sweden when we finish in June here, because we're out here for 8 weeks. Then we've got a couple of gigs in Norway, and then we go to Canada for about 5 weeks, and then when we come back from there, we're out to Russia and Ukraine. Then we do the album, and then we go to Brazil after that, you know, so South America, and so yeah, we're getting around the globe much more.
The summer is coming and you are on tour, so are you looking forward to the open air festivals? And do you like them more than playing indoor?
I'm looking forward to them because they're always big events. I mean, we're doing that Sweden Rocks thing this time, and there's like 1 million bands on it, you know, so it's great to see other bands, you know. And they're usually very well run. They're just fun things to do because people go to these things to have a good time. So the atmosphere is really good, you know, unless it pees rain or something.
But it's good because people go to a festival. They're not there just for one band. You know, they're there for they'll have their favourite band. You know, they want to come to. You know. You'll see all your Nazareth shirts out there, but then you'll see all your Aerosmith shirts, and you'll see, you know, Motorhead shirts, and but everybody comes and watches all the bands, and maybe you'll be playing to people there that wouldn't normally come to one of your shows, one of your own gigs, but they see you there and they think, oh, I'll maybe go and see them. Oh, maybe they say I'm never going back to see them again.
You're touring Germany, Austria and Switzerland. Can you speak any German words?
We can speak food and drink in about 52 languages.
Very much.
Okay. Again, we have got a little word trap about your tour life. Can you please tell us what your first association are about the following words? Do you have a survival kit on the tour? Or some things do you...
What's it?
A first aid kit, there's always one on the bus, yes.
Now a survival kit for you.
You've got to relax.
Yeah,
and
relax.
All right.